Jenrick is trying to produce like tribute videos to Nigel Farage, coming up with the same narrative, like we've lost control of our country, etc., which simply isn't true. So if this essentially misleading message echoed by all political parties, you end up with a narrative which is so detached from the truth that people just simply will not recognize the progress around them. So for the essay, we commissioned a poll from YouGov asking people if they are aware of some of the progress, not just in crime, but in climate, for example, and road deaths. And people think these are getting a lot worse. I mean, greenhouse gas emissions are something like 53% down from their peak. Hardly anybody believes that to be true. Road deaths, for example, they're a fraction of what they once were. People don't believe that to be true either. But progress, when it happens incrementally, isn't really noticeable. It doesn't grab headlines. It's not really spoken about. It lacks a spokesman, and it also lacks people believing in it. So the risk is that we get inured to the kind of progress and blind to the progress, and are inclined to believe things are getting a lot worse in Britain, when in fact, longer term, they're getting a lot better. And I would also make the rather unpopular argument that this is an amazing country, and broadly speaking, there has never been a better time to live in it.
I mean, I don't know who his dealer is, but he's doing a roaring business. The comparisons he makes were with road traffic deaths, which I'm not hearing anybody complain about. And yes, they are down. Things are a lot safer. And he says there's no spokesman for that. Yes, there is. There's a whole government department called the Department for Transport, the DFT. Lots of statistics available, lots of spokespeople available. That is not a measure or the type of measure that people are worried about. I'd love us to be at a point where all we're concerned about are road traffic deaths. That would be perfect. If that was our worry, that wouldn't be a problem. I've never heard anybody complaining about that.
I liked how he chucked emissions in there as well. It's like, oh yeah, the emissions. Oh, you don't worry about getting stabbed or migrant raping your child. Think about the emissions, guys.
Now, both of those things are down, and they're down in places like London, and there's a lot more people getting on public transport, and there's a lot more people that aren't getting killed on the roads because cars are safer and people are more aware. But nobody's worried about that. That is the last thing. You know, you used to say to kids, look both ways when you cross the road. You don't even get to that point now. You're like, right, okay, if you see anyone who looks like this, they might get their knob out. Don't talk to them. Don't get down to the road safety stuff anymore. It's, if someone asked you if you want to look at their puppies, we're not at the puppy stage. That's all gone. That's all in the past. It's a complete distraction. And he is fully, that is the full definition of gaslighting, by the way. Now, what I'm trying to figure out whenever I see Fraser Nelson speak is if he genuinely believes it himself. He seems to. Which I think is slightly worse. It's definitely worse for him because I think it's telling us the type of bubble in which he lives. Now, if he's lying to us and fully gaslighting us and making those things up, that's almost a criminal offense to me because we keep turning a blind eye to the things that are going on. It's not
make a citizen's arrest of Fraser Nelson.
Yeah, just tackle him
yourself.
Just taking him down, yeah. Take him down. If you see Fraser, no, don't. No.
Let's not go there.
We're not encouraging
satirical content. No. We hope Fraser is okay. But do you know what?
This is an intelligent man, by the way, Nick, isn't it? This is let's get this right. This is an intelligent man. He's a journalist. He's a writer. He's someone who is able to, should be able to, should I say, observe society. And observing society from his professional perspective and coming up with that conclusion, to me, is bewildering. And you look at the environment he's sat in. Very nice environment. There's not a council estate behind him. That's not a slum.
You can tell, because he's Scottish, but he's that posh Scottish. That's when you're really posh, when you have no Scottish accent at all. You've got this sort of strange, sort of like, well, I'm actually Scottish, but that was even too much. I did even too much. It's like, I'm actually Scottish, but that was too much. I keep doing too much. It's not even that much. It's like, I'm actually Scottish, but you wouldn't really know in any way. Like that. That's the level. I got it there. That's the level. It's like that's when you know you're really posh when you're Scottish because you've got no trace of the accent left.
I don't know where he was educated. My guess would be probably England. There's a certain level of Scottish society that stay in Scotland until about their teens, and then are educated in England until they're in adulthood and maybe go back. But and they tend to get this hybrid accent.
No, he was at University of Glasgow. So that's even posher. How do you go to Glasgow instead of Glasgow instead of sounding like you come out sounding like, I mean, imagine God, you must have to be. The irony is the amount of crime Nelson must have faced with that accent in Glasgow. He must have been dodging, getting punched every day. I don't know how it works.
Bewilderingly obtuse to fact and reality. Now, if the argument is it's not as bad as people are making out, there is a nuanced argument there, that a debate that you can have, and you can show certain statistics, which I wouldn't use, by the way. Each time I'm on the late edition, there's always somebody on the left side saying statistics that, statistics the other, and I'm like, lies, damn lies, and statistics. You can make statistics and figures and numbers look exactly as you want them to look. Everybody can do that, and the distraction was unbelievable, because if you actually just sit and listen, as I did then, to exactly what he said, it's of no consequence to what people are asking about anyway. No one's saying these are the things that make us feel safe. I've never gone, bloody hell, the emissions are down, and I feel better about that. Nobody is saying it.
Feeling safe is kind of the key. Adam Wren did a good thread on this where he sort of debunked Fraser Nelson. He said, okay, look, it depends how he's using the statistics, which ones he's taking. But he pointed out, ultimately, in the end, it does come down to feeling. And a lot of that is, and I said it actually in a tweet, I should have brought it up here, but I said it, you can't really quantify that feeling of multiculturalism and of rapid change and of general suspicion when you're out there on the streets. You can't really quantify that feeling in a graph, because that is a worse feeling. They don't speak the language. Everyone's looking at each other. Stuff's kicking off. When I leave and walk around, when I walk around London, you're always on edge now. Someone's screaming at someone. There's a homeless person. There's someone shoplifting. You may not literally see it all in one journey, but you just have a feeling all the time. Or the tube late at night, doing that when we were doing headliners 3 times a week, and I was getting the tube. That was just apocalyptic. The stuff I would see, I'd seen things you wouldn't believe. Well, I sound like the end of Blade Runner, but which you won't get because you don't watch any films. But it was shocking, the stuff I saw, like chicken bones. I always say people with no shoes.
It always makes me laugh when you say
always the chicken bones.
It's always those two things though: chicken bones and no shoes.
That was what stuck in my head. Just screaming, fighting. I mean, I say Finkelstein, which says something else I'll show in a second, but my response was, what can't be quantified is the feeling of mutual distrust, hostility, and threat as a result of multiculturalism and many years of deranged immigration policies. And I stand by that. And here's a further nuance I want to share by sharing this little tweet, for a couple of tweets here. One from Danny Finkelstein. So I say, remember, your anecdotal experience of London means nothing. It's all about the graphs. But also, someone's positive anecdotal experience can be used against you at any time. So this is the paradox we have. So it's so Finkelstein was annoyed about some of the responses. He shared Fraser Nelson's article, which was similar to the things Nelson was saying in that video we just saw. And Finkelstein says the quality of responses to this have been stunning. A load of people who think that either the insults about the WEF is a convincing argument, or that it is enough to just assert that it's delusional, or who seriously think that the best way of measuring crime over time is to wander around until you encounter a criminal. So he's saying, no, guys, it's all about the stats. And it's not about your subjective experience, right? But then this other guy, and of course they're not the same person, but it just gives you an idea. They're on the same broad side, which is that they're gaslighting about crime. Damien Lowe says, just had a very uneventful day in London, worked, cycled, played football, and all was calm and pleasant. Much more boring, and then, doesn't know what it means, much more boring than many would have you believe. But don't let the doom, gloom, and a big helping of lies get you down. So there he's saying the opposite, like his anecdotal experience on that one day was good, therefore it's all fine. And we've seen Stadland saying things like this, even though he got mugged.
We see this all the time with every single crime. No one's saying that absolutely everybody is being attacked all of the time. We see this when we see the sexual assaults as a result of the migrant hotels. People come out and say, well, it hasn't happened to me. Or this only happens.
Statistically, it's low. Yeah.
So how many this hasn't happened to anyone I know. And you're like, well, you've got this grieving family over here.
Right.
How would you like to explain that to them?
And it was totally avoidable. That's the thing people can't get their head around. All the lefties can't get their head around. This was avoidable. We didn't need these people in the country. But because they say everyone is just the same and having equal right to our country, they just go, well, white people commit crimes. And it's like, Yeah, shut up. It's not the same thing as it to bring people in. It's not about color either. It's actually about whether you're a native Brit or whether you've been brought in. And if you've been brought in and you immediately rape a child, then of course that's an unnecessary problem we've done to ourselves, and therefore an extra layer of immorality. If you can't see that, you're an idiot.